Hey y'all, welcome to the Memoirs of a Sinner, a personal growth podcast by Her Kinkz. I recently cut myself due to my own negligence. All the warning signs were there, but due to habit and one wrong turn, my wrist came in contact with something sharp and it slit me right open. I panicked because I knew my vein was there and there was a lot of blood. But after some first aid, I realized the cut wasn't as deep as I imagined it to be. In John chapter 5, there's a man that sat at the pool of Bethesda for almost 40 years. He had a desire to be healed, but said he could never find help at the right time. Jesus has an encounter with him, asked him if he wants to get well, healed him, and told him not to sin anymore. Sin causes disability. Luke chapter 10, 25 through 37, Jesus tells the story about a good Samaritan. A Samaritan is defined as a charitable or helpful person. In the story, a man had been abused by bandits. A bandit is a thief. He was left on the side of the road with nobody to help him, and a good Samaritan shows up, gets him a place to stay, and ensures that he got well. Ephesians 6 tells us that the enemy comes stealing, killing, and destroying, which is why it also says that we need to put on the full armor of God so we can stand against the enemy's tactics. Satan can't make us do anything. He can only tempt us. It is when we are operating with our flesh that our actions bring sin into fruition. What we do first starts with a thought. It is our head that leads our body, so when our thinking is unhealthy, we make unhealthy decisions. Now, although the cut across my wrist wasn't deep, it still stung. If you've had something as small as a paper cut, you know that it stings almost as bad as if you had been cut deeper. Not only that, but because it was a small cut, externally, the wound closed pretty fast. However, despite my skin closing back up on the outside, every time I'd move my wrist or something bumped up against it, I'd experience pain as if the wound were still open. Let that marinate in your spirit. When we act on unrighteous thoughts, we create our own dysfunction and disabilities. Yes, it can easily look from the outside as if a mistake was made and recovery has taken place like nothing ever happened. But oftentimes a scar is left as a reminder, and external healing in no way reflects a full internal recovery. It wasn't until I started taking more turmeric like God had been nudging me to do that the inflammation from the inside could come to a halt, heal, and I wouldn't have to endure ongoing pain. This physical wound was a reflection of something I was also experiencing on a spiritual level. I couldn't figure out how in my mind I felt like I had made a poor decision. It had led to great pain, and yet after so much time had gone by, when something came bumping up against that wound, I experienced grief as if it was fresh. The problem was that there was still inflammation, and I hadn't done what God had been telling me to do, knowing that I had the help. WebMD tells us that inflammation is a process by which our body's white blood cells protect us from injury or infection from outside invaders, such as bacteria and viruses. Just like the inflammation from a physical injury's goal is to protect us, our coping mechanisms are one and the same and prevent complete rehabilitation if the area isn't properly treated. Jesus is a good Samaritan, even if those closest to you aren't. I prompt you with the same question he asked all who have fallen short of his glory. Do you want to get well? Let grace complete what grace has begun. David writes in Psalms 103, "Let all that I am praise the Lord. With my whole heart I will praise his holy name. Let all that I am praise the Lord. May I never forget the good things he has done for me. He forgives all my sins and he heals all my diseases. He redeems me from death and crowns me with love and tender mercies. He fills my life with good things. My youth is renewed like the eagles." I love you all in real life. If you'd like to stay connected, you can follow me on Instagram at The Insta About Her, TheinstaAboutHer, and make sure you subscribe and leave a review.